In this winter's tale, it's January that turns out to be the cruelest month. They leave Nebraska's frosted cornfields, always imposing, always highly ranked, but destined, it has seemed, for disappointment. He has these winters in his blood, the native son who never left, who in another time was twice the state's athlete of the year, a marvel who competed for his small hometown college. Tom Osborne, 22 seasons, 218 victories, 11 conference titles, but still bearing with serene dignity the January memories. Memories of hot, humid nights in Miami, when it was all or nothing, in a stadium a long, long way from home.
This is for the national championship for Nebraska.
In 1984, there was honor in defeat. 10 years later, redemption was just one play away.
45 yards to give Cinderella, Nebraska the national championship. And he hooked and left. Florida State wins.
And though decades of success have been somehow diminished by a series of New Year's failings, the resolve remains. And now, even beyond the heartland, you sense he is, for most, the sentimental choice.
I don't think there's any room for compassion. I mean, we're playing a football game, and if he wasn't playing us for the national championship, I'd root for him.
To Tom Osborne, this is a familiar face of January, the face of another fierce Miami team, at home in the Orange Bowl, and prepared to deny the Cornhuskers a national title. Or is this finally the night when Nebraska's proud native son brings to an end his long New Year's nightmare? Miami on a balmy winter's night. You might call it hurricane weather. Tonight, in their home stadium, the Orange Bowl, where they have won 62 of their last 63 games. The number 3 Miami Hurricanes beat number 1 and undefeated Nebraska, seeking to become college football's national champions. It's another sellout of 78,000 for this 61st Orange Bowl game. And although the Nebraska Cornhuskers may have one of their finest teams ever, and though you'll see plenty of Nebraska supporters clad in red tonight, this is still their formidable task. To win here, in this Miami sound machine, where the Hurricanes have lost only once since 1985, and but for a single bad quarter against Washington back in September, the Hurricanes would themselves be undefeated and poised to win their 5th national title in 12 seasons. As it is, Miami does have a slim chance to win the title, but the Canes must beat the Cornhuskers tonight and hope that somehow number 2 Penn State loses to Oregon in tomorrow's Rose Bowl. Only Nebraska can get by without any help. If they win tonight, they're the champs, no matter what happens anywhere else.
We're moments away from the start of the 61st Orange Bowl. The Nebraska Cornhuskers. Their coach, Tom Osborne, his arms folded serenely, it seems, as he awaits the charge onto the field. A magnificent coaching career for him. Only a national title missing from his resume. The Cornhuskers last won the national crown when they did it back in the early 70s under Bob Devaney. Field, Nebraska would be the clear favorite, as good as Miami is. Here, they are the slimmest of choices. A point, maybe a point and a half prior to kickoff. Tommy Frazier hasn't played since September 24th. Blood clots in his right leg. He's received medical clearance. Berringer, as you heard John Dockery say, he will play, may very well play in the first quarter. 7-0 in relief. If he had had a few more passing attempts, he would have qualified for a national ranking in passing efficiency, and he would have ranked as high as 7th. And the Miami Hurricanes lost here to Washington as a result of one bad quarter, the third quarter, back in September. Also September 24th, as a matter of fact. That's their only loss on this field since 1985. Dennis Erickson could win his third national title if things break right. It would be his third in a 6-year tenure. He says he's staying. Our Will McDonough says takes seriously the talk that he could be headed to Seattle and the Seahawks. For sure you can believe the talk that we're headed upstairs to the booth. And our announcers, Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth. Tom.
All right, thank you, Bob, and Happy New Year, everybody. You know, Chris, we've heard from the coaches, from the quarterbacks, but there's a matchup in this game I think will be crucial to its outcome. It involves the Nebraska offensive line, led by Zach Wiegert, who is the Outland Trophy winner at right tackle. This is a huge line, bigger than some NFL offensive lines, helping the Cornhuskers to the best rushing attack in the nation, 340 yards a game. But they'll be meeting a Miami defense that is the best in college football, giving up just 220 yards total offense a game. And the strength of the Miami defense is right up front in the person of Warren Sapp, the Lombardi Trophy winner. His coach Dennis Erickson says he can dominate a game much like Hurricane defensive line greats of the past like Russell Maryland and Cortez Kennedy. And he can be pretty aggressive too. I thought he was going to come after you when you asked him if Nebraska could run the ball on Miami.
Yeah, when you stood up to run, I think you actually scared him back in his seat, and I want to thank you for that. But it's interesting, when we were talking to Zach Wiegert, the great offensive lineman from Nebraska, he said, you know, we just want to play a physical football game with these guys. Get our body on them, try and push them around, find out who the better man is. And this is a great team to do it against the Miami Hurricanes. They'll just sit there in that 4-3 defense. They're not going to run. They're not going to hide. It'll be one of those matchups. We'll find out who the better man is.
Now, there's one other unit we haven't mentioned, and we should. The Nebraska defense, highly rated, and a different Nebraska defense than we've seen in the past.
Absolutely. This is a defense built around speed, especially at the cornerback position. These guys in the past, especially last year against FSU in that Orange Bowl game, proved that they can go against the very best receivers in the country. And even when they got off the line of scrimmage, Baron Miles and Tyrone Williams able to stay right with these guys. We expect that same kind of matchup this evening.
And there is a look at Dennis Erickson. He says that he will listen to potential NFL offers after this game. And Tom Osborne, 3 times he has played for a national championship. How many more times will he have the chance? Miami wins the toss, defers to the second half. Nebraska will receive for the national title. Taken at the goal line by Benning. And he's wrestled down at the 15-yard line by Jeffrey Taylor after a 15-yard return. And that Miami defense is pumped up. So Tommy Frazier ready for his first snap in game conditions in 98 days.
16-yard return.
The familiar I formation. The I back is Lawrence Phillips. Phillips, a gain of 5 to the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting offensive lineup now for Nebraska. This could be the best Nebraska offensive line ever in a last-minute switch. Wilkes goes to right guard. All-American Brendan Stye takes over at left guard opposite Warren Sapp. Frazier, MVP last year's Orange Bowl. Phillips rushed for 1,700 yards, third in the nation. Muhammad, the top receiver. Starting defensive unit for the Hurricanes, #1 defense in the nation. And Holmes could be the next Cane defensive star. Sapp has a year of eligibility left, but he could turn pro. The linebacker Lewis had 152 tackles, third highest Miami total ever. And All-American C.J. Richardson leads the secondary. I don't know if the crowd noise at this end of the stadium might have bothered Nebraska. They practiced here all week with the speakers blaring at full volume, but they had to burn a timeout. Second down play. The up back, Schlesinger, got only a couple of yards before Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker and leading tackler for the Canes, made the stop. It'll bring up third down.
I was talking to Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator for Miami, just before the ball game, and he said, we are going to force Tommy Frazier to throw the football. We are going to find out if, in fact, he can beat us throwing the football. We're going to line up and play the run on every snap of the ball until he proves he can throw it against us.
3 wide receiver formation on 3rd and 3. Muhammad, Holbein, and Ball, the wide receivers. Holbein in motion. Frazier still has it. A play-action pass. Plenty of time. He rifles it incomplete. Too wide for the diving Brendan Holbein, and Nebraska will have to punt on its first possession.
Intended for Holbein.
Looked like Tommy Frazier had a chance to hit Holbein. He tried to throw a line shot to him instead of just letting a little air under it so that Holbein could run underneath it. At least so far, Greg McMackin's strategy is paying off. First down, second down runs. Try and throw it on third down.
That's Jamie German awaiting the Darren Erstad punt. End over end, and not a very high kick. Takes a bounce and is down at about the 42-yard line. Only a 36-yard punt. Excellent field position for the Hurricanes on their first possession. So Frank Costa getting some last-minute instructions before he leads this Hurricane offensive unit. We're not used to the offensive unit of the Hurricanes being inconsistent as this one has been, but they are capable of some big numbers. First down, spot the ball at the Miami 42. First possession for the Canes, scoreless first quarter. Costa straight back, first down pass, incomplete, short hopped. His intended receiver, Jonathan Harris.
Costa pass is incomplete. Intended for Harris.
So Costa perhaps a little jittery.
Tackle for Nebraska.
And there really was the key matchup, Tom. Jonathan Harris, they feel like they don't have any safety on the Nebraska defense that can cover Jonathan Harris. They have fine corners on the outside, but Miami really feels that if they can get Jonathan Harris matched up on Beelan or Ed Stewart or one of the linebackers, they'll win that battle every time.
Three wide receiver formation, 2nd and 10. Hand off to Stewart. James Stewart crosses the 45 to about the 47-yard line, where he is stopped by Veland. Miami lines up this way offensively. That offensive line keyed by unanimous All-Big East center Casey Jones. The line positions vary according to formation. Weak side away from the tight end, strong side with the tight end. Costa passed for 2,400 yards this season. Stewart the top rusher, Chris T. Jones leading receiver. It's a 5 wide receiver formation here. This is a situation Nebraska in the past has shown blitz. From the gun. Costa's pass complete to Tellison. Knocked out of bounds in Nebraska territory at the 43 by linebacker Ed Stewart. There's that running back on linebacker matchup again. Good for 9 yards.
Anytime you're trying to play safeties and outside linebackers against wide receivers, a very difficult matchup. Ed Stewart is an outside linebacker. Now, he's a former defensive back. They feel like that they can cover people inside, but one of the reasons that Stewart was moved to linebacker was his inability to play man-to-man coverage. He is going to be under the gun all night tonight.
First down, Miami. Costa. Wide open. Pass taken by Chris T. Jones for a gain of about 7 yards before Baron Miles recovers to knock him out of bounds. This Nebraska defense ranks 2nd to Miami in scoring defense nationally. Christian Peter leads the team with 7 sacks. Connolly has 6.5. Keneally. Senior weak side linebacker Ed Stewart, we've talked about him. He does lead the Huskers in tackles. And cornerback Baron Miles, who made that last hit, had 5 interceptions to lead the Big 8 Conference. Now 2nd and 8. Costa hands off. Stewart breaking tackles, almost got away. Gains 4 or 5 yards before he's taken down by Dumas and Veland. Here is James Stewart, #1 rusher, 724 yards on the season, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Made 2nd team All-Big East.
Boy, what a body he has. 6'3", 245, runs a 4.4. Those are numbers that make pro scouts absolutely drool.
Was 2nd in the Florida State 100 meters back in his days at Vero Beach High School.
Feeling good again. He will unquestionably be a pro prospect.
Quarterback draw. Costa Dives to the 25-yard line, well short of the first down. It'll be 4th down. That was a gain of 8 on the quarterback draw by Frank Costa.
But, Tom, I thought it was really a smart play that time by Frank Costa. They needed about 10 yards in order to put their team in field goal position. Doesn't matter if you throw it, run it, whatever. Looked like Frank Costa had it in his mind to try and find an opening and get that thing in field goal range, and that's exactly what he's able to do.
So Dane Pruitt is on to attempt a 44-yard field goal. He's hit 13 of 14 this season. Baron Miles, the blocking specialist for Nebraska. Miles didn't get there. Pruitt's kick is good. Dane Pruitt with a 44-yard field goal, capping Miami's first possession of the game. And the Canes go up on Nebraska 3-0. 7:54 left in the opening quarter, 3-0 Miami. That was Pruitt's longest field goal of the year. His previous long 38, that one from 44. Pruitt with the kickoff. Taken by Benning. Benning with a good return as a late flag comes flying. He's stopped just short of the 25-yard line by Earl Little. Poor field position for the Huskers. Two tight end formation here. Frazier swings the pass complete to Phillips. Phillips puts on a couple of moves, bangs across the 15 to the 16-yard line where he's hit by Davis and Richardson. Let's go on the sideline, visiting with John Dockery. Doc, what do you have?
Hi, Tom. Just the noise is deafening down here, and it definitely is bothering Nebraska. Caused them to burn a timeout on that first series. I talked to Tom Osborne before the game, and yeah, he said they try to assimilate it, but you know it's tough to assimilate 70,000 people. He said if it got too loud, that they just would not audibilize, but they've given Frazier a few signals to his wide receivers, but if it's too much, they just won't audibilize.
Second down play. Phillips, nice run. That'll be a Nebraska first down, their initial first down of the game. Phillips first on a pass, then on a run, gets the Nebraska first down. Wilson and Richardson the tackle.
A trap block that just barely got there against Kenny Holmes. Nice job of running inside by Lawrence Phillips. He allowed that trap to take place and then just sort of slide through to pick up the first down.
There's a look at Phillips. It was a first down run. Here's the option. Frazier with a keep. He's to the 40-yard line. So Frazier on the first option play keeps the ball. James Burgess tackles him after a gain of about 8 yards.
Brooke Berringer looking on from the sideline. We asked Tommy Frazier whether or not he would be looking over his shoulder and feeling the pressure that if he didn't get something done immediately, that he would be out of the ball game. He said, absolutely not. I've just got to go out there and do what I do best. If it's not good enough, I'll just take a seat on the bench.
Tommy Frazier from Bradenton, Florida. A lot of family members here to see him play tonight. Childs with his first carry of the game. Stopped by Ray Lewis and stopped after a gain of only a yard or so.
It was interesting in talking with Tommy Frazier and all the problems that he had as you take a look at Ray Lewis. Tommy Frazier said the most frustrating time that he had was in the hospital. His leg didn't even hurt him. He couldn't even feel any pain in the back of the knee, and yet he was having to undergo surgery and listen to the game on radio. Said it was just about enough to kill him.
Seventh play of the drive. It's 3rd and 1. 5 defensive linemen in for the Canes. Option play. Frazier hit and caught for a loss. There's a flag down. Frazier hit back at the 35-yard line by linebacker Corwin Francis, the senior from LaPorte, Texas. And Frazier indicating it's against Miami. Offside against the Canes. Big break for Nebraska. It'll give them a first down.
Looked to me like Miami just lined up off sides. There really wasn't any movement.
Well, they sent Baraka short onto the field at the last minute, and I don't think he ever really got set. He just came in at the very last moment, and as you said, perhaps lined up in the neutral zone. At any level. Frazier lofts it downfield. Muhammad double covered. Interception made by Carlos Jones of Miami.
You're not going to run by Carlos Jones. He's the fastest player on this team, and it was his interception against FSU that put the game away. It looked for a moment like Abdul Muhammad was going to be open, and now watch Carlos Jones turn on the Jets and just simply go over the top. He has not been beaten deep the entire season for the Miami Hurricanes.
Frazier threw it right into double coverage that time.
First and 10 for Miami.
Miami backed up to the 3 after the interception. They come with a 2 tight end formation to try to bang it out of there, leading 3-0. Stewart driven back, got to the line of scrimmage and not much more, but the Miami defense made the play that got them the ball back.
One of the fastest defensive linemen in the country right here, Warren Sapp. Makes the initial contact, comes all the way around, and forces Tommy Frazier to release the ball too high. It hung up just long enough for Carlos Jones. Credit that play to Warren Sapp.
So Frazier will watch the next series apparently, and Berringer will come on as they go over the notes together. However, Miami is still backed up. No gain on their first play. It's 2nd and 10 from the 3. Costa with play action. And the pass caught. Jamie German with a Miami first down, a gain of 17 to the 20, and once again Baron Miles victimized by Costa.
Jamie German, one of the fastest players on this Miami team. Baron Miles, a terrific defensive back, but doesn't have great speed. And this is about as far off as I've seen him play throughout the course of this year, showing a lot of respect for these Miami receivers. And as long as Baron Miles continues to back up in that way, they will continue to pick on him.
Baron Miles, as Berringer warms up, has 3 times been victimized as we come inside the minute 30 mark, first quarter. Costa going deep. And the pass is caught by Tellison. A.C. Tellison all the way to the 35-yard line of the Cornhuskers. A gain of 44 yards. Costa to Tellison.
Tellison working just one-on-one. This time they go after the other corner, Tyrone Williams. I should say in Tyrone Williams' defense, he's getting absolutely no help in the middle of the field. This is just one-on-one football. These corners are going to have an awfully difficult night tonight.
Minute left first quarter. Kings first down at the 37 of the Huskers, leading 3-0. Stewart twisting, turning to the 35-yard line, gain of 2, tackled by Ed Stewart.
Miami.
A corner's nightmare. When you start bringing these safeties up to the line of scrimmage to help against the run, now you're left on a complete island on the outside, one-on-one against the speedy Miami receivers.
Nebraska 35.
Boy, oh boy, are they putting those guys in a tough position.
Dennis Erickson telling us they were going to look for Tellison at times when they brought the safeties up, usually from a slot position. And it paid off for 44 yards. 2nd and 8. Closing seconds, first quarter. Quick drop. Costa swings it complete. Jones to the 15. Jones for the touchdown. Team, it's pretty hard to keep up with the Joneses. They have 7 of them. That was Trent Jones that just took it 35 yards from Costa for the score. 97-yard Miami drive. Remember, it began on their own 3-yard line. Pruitt for the extra point. It's good.
The flanker screen with the other receivers blocking against man coverage, almost impossible to defend. Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator, said this play should be outlawed. And when Trent Jones gets in the open field,
And the hurricane warnings are up. 10-0 Miami. Stewart continues to get instruction on the sideline as Dane Pruitt set to kick off for Miami. Just 4 seconds left in the first quarter, a quarter dominated by the Hurricanes. Picked up on the hop by Benning. Found a lane for a moment, got it to the 30-yard line before Earl Little made the stop, a 23-yard return. An ominous beginning for the Nebraska Cornhuskers and Tom Osborne. Frazier out, Berringer in when we come back to the FedEx Orange Bowl. Ready to start the second quarter at the Orange Bowl. Brooke Berringer replacing Tommy Frazier at quarterback for Nebraska. Best field position for Nebraska. Berringer still at quarterback, handing to Phillips. Wrestled down by Corwin Francis. Let's go to John Dockery for a report on Miami injured receiver A.C. Tellison. Doc?
Yeah, the word on Tellison from the trainers is that it's separated. It looks like a separated left shoulder. Chances of him coming back are very slim. Obviously, Miami will miss him in that 3 wide receiver set. Back to you, Tom.
All right, indeed they will. And Dennis Erickson telling us he was one of the keys to a successful game plan for the Canes tonight. And he leaves with 10 minutes left in the first half. Berringer facing 2nd and 6. Handed to Phillips. Turned the corner and got just short of the 30-yard line where he's hit by Marvin Davis. Close to a first down.
Davis on the tackle for Miami.
I have to say that Brooke Berringer is giving this offense a lift. The big difference, of course, in the passing yards, and that is what they talk about, that Brooke is the better passer, Tommy Frazier the better runner. But I really think that now what you're seeing, just the threat of the pass from Brooke Berringer is enough to open up the running game.
Wasn't much threat there. It was a first down. It's at the 29 of the Canes. Nebraska trailing by 10. Reverse. Washington thrown back at the 20-yard line. Still, it was a gain of about 9 yards. Malcolm X, Pearson, and Ray Lewis putting the hit.
Pearson on the tackle for Miami.
Oh, there goes that boring conservative Tom Osborne again. The guy that has no flash. Barely got this play off. Warren Sapp had it read, and then nice blocking down the field. Joe Wilkes, the guy that they were afraid to play against Warren Sapp, got out in front to lead that one.
We found something Sapp couldn't do. If you give one of those little guys a 10-yard head start, I don't think you can catch it. Childs, who has come in place of Phillips at the I-back. Short game, but close to a first down. Davis and Holmes, the tackle. Excuse me.
Warren Sapp is going to get plenty of attention. There you have Brendan Stye, who was moved to the left guard position. He has played right guard throughout the course of the season, but when you have that guy, Warren Sapp, playing over the left guard, well, you take one of your better guys and play him at left guard.
First down, Nebraska. Ball spotted at the 19 of the Canes. 8 minutes left, first half. 5-man defensive front for Miami. Play action. Berringer rolls, flips, caught, touchdown. Gilman. Season. This one to Mark Gilman. His second touchdown catch. Extra point by Sealer up and good. So Nebraska goes 40 yards in 5 plays. Berringer with a 19-yard toss to Gilman.
Berringer with the play action fake, and the passing game of Nebraska getting them right back in the game.
It's a 3-point Orange Bowl.
Put in 5 defensive linemen, take out a corner, puts too much pressure on the safety and the defensive backfield. The play action away. A false step that time by Malcolm Pearson. And Mark Gilman wide open for the touchdown.
So Brooke Berringer comes off the bench for Tom Osborne and throws the touchdown pass. And just like that, Nebraska's back in the game.
We may have seen the last of the alternating quarterbacks if Berringer keeps playing the way that he has in his 2 series.
Erstad booms it out of the end zone. Touchback. Did we enjoy our conversation with Rohan or not? You know, he's the son of the late rap star Bob Marley, and when he came in the room, not rap star, reggae star, and he entertained us.
He was singing all the way through our interview.
Ferguson in the game. Gets the call and takes a hit thrown back by Phil Ellis and others in the Nebraska defense, and that will be the final play of the first half. Nebraska broke out of the gate in a hurry, built a 10-point lead before the Cornhuskers behind Brooke Berringer got the momentum. Let's go to John Dockery.
Coach, can you give us your overview of the first half?
Well, the bottom line, we got too many penalties. We're making too many mistakes. We're moving the ball up and down the field, playing great defense, and we make penalties and put ourselves in bad field position. And we got all the penalties. They don't have any. That's the difference in the first half.
Did the team just lose some concentration? You started off so high.
I had the answer. We wouldn't do it, John.
Okay, Tom, back up to you, Tom.
All right, John Dockery, Miami, the momentum early. Nebraska got back into it. And I wonder if Joe Paterno is an interested viewer here with the second half yet to come. At the end of the first half, Miami leading Nebraska in the FedEx Orange Bowl 10-7 for halftime. Let's go to Bob Costas. Bob? It's very likely the last national championship game in this stadium. FedEx Orange Bowl halftime, Miami leading Nebraska number 3 over number 1, 10-7. Welcome back to Miami, everyone. Chris, before the game started, you said you agreed with Tom Osborne's decision to start Tommy Frazier at quarterback. In light of what happened in the first half, do you still agree?
Changed my mind.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Brooke Berringer, with just the threat of the pass alone, has done a couple of things. One thing, he hit a couple of passes, but it's also opened up the running game for Nebraska.
And just a couple of moments ago, John Dockery talked with Nebraska coach Tom Osborne.
Coach, you started off slowly. What turned it around for you in the first half?
Well, I think we try to play physical football, and we're hoping that we'll continue to get stronger as the game goes along. We need to hang on the ball on offense, get some first downs, keep their defense on the field. I think our defense is getting a little bit more confidence. We're getting a little more pressure on Costa. We just hope we can hang in there and pull it out.
Who's your quarterback in the second half?
Brooke Berringer will start.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
So Berringer will start the second half, but Nebraska must kick off to Miami after Miami deferring to open the game.
And Tom Osborne still calling him Berringer.
Yeah.
Just refuses to make that change.
Tom Osborne now a half away from maybe that elusive national championship, trailing by 3. And a look at number 7, German, who is deep to receive the kick. Erstad boots it, and German will field it about 3 yards deep. It's Shipman, actually, and not German. They caught it. Shipman with a 23-yard return. Let's take a look at the first half stats now. And remember that Miami had a 97-yard touchdown drive, which will account for much of their total yardage in that first half.
And Nebraska had the ball in good position for most of that first half. Miami was an offense of big plays, over half their yards coming on 3 big plays.
First down, Hurricanes from their own 22-yard line. Frank Costa still at quarterback. Stewart, the lone setback. First down pass. Costa wings it complete. Chris T. Jones with another catch. He's across the 25 to the 27, where he's hit by Baron Miles.
And Tom, I was really surprised that Chris T. Jones wasn't a bigger part of the first half. No question about it. He's their best receiver. He's working one-on-one that time against Baron Miles. They need to find a way to get him the football.
They have gotten it to him 5 times for 54 yards.
But as a wide receiver, when you're playing against man coverage, you want it all the time.
And remember, latter stages of the half, they were starting to put tremendous pressure on Costa. One of the reasons he didn't have the luxury of surveying his receivers. Stewart bounces to the outside, spinning his way forward, taking tacklers with him, and he's all the way to the 40-yard line. What a run by James Stewart.
But he refuses to classify himself as a fullback, despite being 245 pounds. We asked him, wouldn't you like to just take it against this smaller Nebraska defense and just pound it in there time after time? He said, no. He said, that wears on your body. I don't need any of that. Let me go outside a couple of times, then I'll come back inside.
As a senior at Vero Beach High School, he averaged 8 yards a carry for the season. First down pass. This time it's complete across midfield to Jermaine Chambers. Miles and Veland get him, but not until he gains 14, and the aerial game of the Canes begins to click again.
You know, it's interesting now. Miami is coming back to what they did early in the first half. They had a tremendous first quarter. They're going to the short drops, to the quicker throws, not allowing Nebraska's pressure to get there.
Tom Osborne sees the Hurricanes drive off their opening possession of the second half. Now with a first down at the Cornhusker 45. It's 10-7 Miami. Stewart. This time the defense ready for him. He got only a couple of yards. Let's go to John Dockery. Doc?
You know, Chris, you've been talking about the Nebraska defense coming with pressure, blitz, as you said. They're also doing is tipping the blitz off, because if you notice, their safeties are starting to creep up to 7 and 8 yards, almost even 4 across with the cornerbacks. And heck, we can see it from the sidelines. You got to assume that Frank Costa and Miami can see it. So let's see if they adjust to it. Watch those safeties creeping up, tipping off the blitz.
That's a good point, Doc.
2nd and 9. The safeties appear to be holding their ground this time now, beginning to creep a little bit, as you see. No blitz. Costa's pass to a wide open Harris. Jonathan Harris cuts back. He's to the 15, to the outside. Harris racing for the end zone. Touchdown.
The matchup we talked about at the beginning of the game. Jonathan Harris one-on-one against anybody. When we talked to him, he said, I want to be the man. Get me the football, especially against that man coverage. They cannot cover me.
First catch of the day for Harris goes for 44 yards. Here's the extra point attempt by Pruitt. High snap. Chrissy got it down. Pruitt boots it through. The quick strike Miami offense, this time in the person of Jonathan Harris.
That's what he told us yesterday. I told you they can't cover me. No way. One-on-one coverage. A huge cushion against him. Kareem Moss just giving him all sorts of room. That was the matchup. Jonathan Harris against the safeties from Nebraska. It cannot work for Nebraska.
Frank Costa celebrates another touchdown pass. It puts the Canes up by 10. With producer Tommy Roy, director Andy Rosenberg, Tom Hammond, Chris Collinsworth, John Dockery, Bob Costas, the FedEx Orange Bowl. 17-7 Canes because of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for excessive celebration. Miami kicks off from the 20. It'll be taken by Benning. Benning down the sideline, almost to midfield, tripped up at the 49-yard line by Willie Phillips. Berringer starting at quarterback. Pitch it to Phillips. wrestled down after a gain of only 1 by Davis and Lang. Well, the Canes can strike in a hurry, as we've seen tonight. 5 plays, 78 yards, only a minute 41 on the 44-yard pass, but nothing new for Miami. 8 of their drives under a minute, 8 others between 1:30 and 2. The average 2 minutes 44 seconds. Their 42 touchdown drives during the regular season. Costa, the man that engineered it. 2nd and 9 for Berringer. Play action. Berringer has to unload it and throws it away. Warren Sapp was bearing down on him, but Berringer had time, just no one open.
3rd and 9.
Now Warren Sapp's going to do a little talking to the coaching staff. It doesn't matter who it is. You know, the water boy, the guy holding the tape over there, our TV crew, because you just chase everybody around and give a little whack on the quarterback and then stand up, and you're just getting a little friendly conversation with the boys over there.
Well, Jerome Brown went the 9th pick, Cortez Kennedy the 3rd, Russell Maryland the 1st. You'd have to say Warren Sapp is a candidate to be way up there as well. It's known as quarterback U, but the defensive tackles just as good as the QBs. 3rd down pass. Berringer goes deep. Muhammad can't get there. Or excuse me, it was Reggie Ball, the intended receiver. But Berringer's pass sailed way out of bounds over the head of Reggie Ball.
If we could just get him to open up a little bit, come out of his shell and have some fun on the football field.
Not much fun for that man.
You know, what did he tell us yesterday? He said, if I don't win this national championship, they'll probably put it on my tombstone, but I guess that's okay because I'll be dead anyway. I don't care.
Erstad averaging just a touch under 40 a boot. German, fair catch. Takes it at the 14-yard line. He's hit. It was a 36-yard punt. And I guess no penalty because he was juggling the football, I presume. It looked like the violation of the fair catch signal.
You're supposed to get 2 yards. And basically, he got tackled. You have the right to fall to the ground and make a catch.
The Orange Bowl Stadium began as a 5,000-seat motorcycle racing facility when it opened. At the first Orange Bowl football game in 1935, the Goodyear Blimp was there as Bucknell shut out Miami 26-0. Great pictures from the Goodyear Blimp high over the Orange Bowl in Miami tonight. First down, Hurricanes. The ball at their own 14-yard line. They lead Nebraska 17-7. Nebraska showing first down blitz. They don't come, and Costa has time. Wings it way downfield, overshooting his intended receiver, Chris T. Jones, defended by Eric Stokes. Well, these Orange Bowl appearances, national championship tries, 7 straight losing bowls for Tom Osborne have become painful. He wins at an almost 84% clip in his own conference. Non-conference games almost as good. Ranked teams very respectable. But when it comes to bowl games, only a .381 winning percentage. And Osborne's Huskers have dropped the last 7 in a row. He is giving one last reminder to his offensive unit. He calls the plays. The offense very much his responsibility. Looking for the defense to make a stop here. Stewart on the delayed handoff. Flag, a late one coming in. Terwilliger and Coleman on the tackle for Nebraska. Obviously, Ron Winter's mic is not working.
I believe what that is an illegal crack. When you come outside in as a wide receiver and make a block on someone inside, you have to stay above the waist. Apparently one of the wide receivers came back in and cracked below the waist.
Canes approaching 100 yards in penalties, while Osborne's group only 2 for 15 yards. The ball sent all the way back inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. The ball just over the 3.
Boy, does Nebraska's defense need a big play now.
receivers. Nobody back there but Costa in the end zone. Being chased, and that'll be a safety. Dwayne Harris, the senior from Bessemer, Alabama, with his 6th sack of the season and a safety. 2 points for the Cornhuskers.
Well, you call for it, and Dwayne Harris delivers. Here's a guy with a 7-foot wingspan. And watch him stick out one of those big paws and make the play on Frank Costa. They say that he reminds him of Neil Smith, the great from the Kansas City Chiefs. Going to send out that big hook and just pull him down with one arm. And now Nebraska has some much-needed momentum. Good inside move. Sort of a scary picture, isn't it? To see one of those big guys coming at you
from ground level. And you know, once again, Miami will have to kick off from the 20-yard line.
It's a lot of fun, this Orange Bowl game.
It is.
Halftime to the great game and all the surrounding events.
I saw those pachyderms. I thought the Nebraska offensive line had come out early.
Those are the non-starters.
There was a report that Tom Osborne were trying to recruit a couple of them. Benning dropped it, got it back, but is taken down at the 25-yard line. Less than 4 minutes left, third quarter. 17-9 Miami. Play action fake. Berringer. Wide open man is Abdul Muhammad. He makes the catch, and he has a Nebraska first down and covered 16 yards. The senior from Compton, California, the Huskers' leading receiver.
And Abdul Muhammad last year in the Orange Bowl against FSU was hit in the stomach with a helmet, cracked 2 ribs, one of which pierced his liver. If that wasn't enough, he still has a bullet lodged in his backside, the result of a drive-by shooting. And Tom Osborne says he is the toughest guy in Nebraska football history.
Heavily recruited by the University of Miami. Chose Nebraska instead. No gain that time for Phillips. Met at the line of scrimmage, might have lost a yard. And it was Warren Sapp and Burgess that combined for the hit.
Lewis and Sapp on the tackle.
More misdirection needed from this Nebraska offense. Every time that they've gone with some sort of a bootleg, a waggle, a move one way, go the other, they've been successful.
Actually, it was a loss of 3 on that play, so 2nd and 13. Berringer. Time. Great catch to Muhammad. Muhammad went upstairs, and the little man, 5'9" from California, grabs it for 19 yards.
Lewis on the tackle, Miami.
I just love to watch this kid play. I think there are some kids who just will themselves to greatness. And Abdul Muhammad is that. I watched him against Oklahoma. Every single time that Nebraska had to come up with a big play, it was that guy right there, Abdul Muhammad, making the plays, got the bullet in his backside, destroyed his liver last year. He just keeps making plays.
That was a pretty catch. Phillips hit behind the line, stumbles forward, close to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1. Burgess got penetration. James Burgess with help from Lang to make the play.
And James Burgess was the most highly recruited linebacker in the state of Florida a couple of years ago, and he now is sort of taken over. He and Rohan Marley used to rotate that position, but of course the knee injury to Rohan, and now it has become James Burgess's position, and he's really taken advantage of his opportunity.
Canes have effectively cut off Lawrence Phillips this quarter. 6 rushes, only 10 yards, third period. Play action again. Berringer's protection breaks down, and he is ripped to the turf by Lang.
Berringer is sacked. Lang on the tackle.
8 sacks during the regular season for Lang. This year he was named the Big East Rookie of the Year. Well, I can't get over how strong these guys' hands are. I mean, all they need to do is grab jersey, and that's it. Oh.
3rd and 14. shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Great catch by Muhammad again. The big play man is close to a first down. 15 yards. It should be enough for the first. It'll be close depending on the spot of the football.
Do you love him? Really. Look at making the catch over the middle, making the solid catch, and knowing immediately that he had about 5 or 6 yards to go to pick up a first down, puts his head down and drives for the first. And Brooks' mom kind of liked that one.
It is just short. It will be 4th down. Sneak. Right behind the center, Aaron Graham. Berringer sneaked it and should have enough.
Berringer on the carry.
Remember, he only needed a foot. And it is first down. Was that a sigh of relief?
You betcha. What a job, though, Brooke Berringer has done in this ball game. He took the demotion gracefully, did not complain, accepted the fact that Tommy Frazier was going to start this game at quarterback, and has come in and put his team right back in a position now to possibly tie up the ball game.
He told us, I expect to play and play well. But he still trails 17-9. Closing seconds, 3rd quarter. Berringer sets, lofts it for Phillips. Makes the catch, dances his way to the 30-yard line. That's 7 or 8 yards before Burgess and Lewis crack him out of bounds to stop the clock at 16 seconds.
Classy throw that time by Berringer. Knew he had to get it up over the top, and I like the trust shown by Lawrence Phillips. He knew Berringer wouldn't get him killed. He's going to keep his eyes on the football. Didn't even look down the field. Most guys in that situation, in that situation, would have taken a little peek to make sure there wasn't a bullet coming for me.
Lucky you mentioned it, because I was going to. 2nd and 2. Berringer 8 of 14. Berringer is 4 for 4 on this drive. Fumble, still loose.
Fumble.
Nebraska got it back.
Nebraska has recovered.
And guess who?
Burgess saying, I've got the football. Now they say it is Miami's ball.
And Tom Osborne can't believe it.
Miami has recovered the ball.
Just never made the exchange with Clinton Shields. Childs.
Looking short, and they're rooting the ball out, it appears. And Burgess will come away with it.
It was a bad snap, Tom. Berringer never got the snap, and then he tried to hustle it up and put the ball back in Child's belly, and by then the timing of the play was blown.
10 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Miami takes over on the turnover at their own 36. Fighting for yardage on the ground. As the 3rd quarter will come to an end, it was Ferguson with his first carry. Berringer had his team moving before the turnover. As the 3rd quarter comes to an end for Osborne and his quest for the national championship. He trails 17-9 in the FedEx Orange Bowl. We'll be back right after these messages from your local station.
But should make the point that Nebraska uses 2 centers a lot. They alternate them, Aaron Graham and Bill Humphrey, and 2 quarterbacks. So there is no real consistent exchange between any 2 players.
First play of the 4th quarter. 4 wide receivers set for the Canes. 2nd and 6 from their own 40. Costa's pass. Ferguson with a diving attempt. Did he get it? Apparently so. It'll be a catch short of the first down at the 42.
And Costa, again, very slow to get up, and He could plant a little wheat in that helmet.
Pass complete to Ferguson.
He's about to plant a little corn if this lead stands up for them.
He got planted on that one.
Connealy with the hit of Costa, who's just now getting the dirt out of his helmet. Well, he didn't even do that.
Trying.
Play clock to 8. Down the sideline. Chris T. Jones battling with Baron Miles. And incomplete.
Costa's pass intended for Jones.
What's more exciting than that? When they take it, man-to-man coverage, only 2 guys within 30 yards of the football. If Baron Miles doesn't get his head around there, that is another big play because Chris T. Jones makes those catches. Brilliant play that time by Baron Miles.
And that was Miami's first 3rd and short situation today. Costa not happy. And faced with 3rd and short, they threw deep. Oh, there we go. There it is again. Miles is chasing, and he kicks it out of bounds through the end zone. That'll be an illegal kick. Pruitt saw it sail 5 feet over his head, and then did his best Pele imitation.
Tom, this is a huge call now by the officials down on the goal line. If that ball went out on the 1-yard line, now Nebraska's in a position. If it goes out in the end zone, it's a safety.
Right.
I mean, this is a bit. If you're a Nebraska fan now, you want that ball on the 1-yard line. And the problems continue for these long snappers.
Taylor made that snap. It was not a good one. Jeffrey Taylor, as we said, the 3rd snapper they've used this season. Backup linebacker. So for the 8th time this season, a bad snap on a punt has cost them. And 5 of those previous 7, the opponents have scored.
I mean, that's not even close. Jeffrey Taylor just snapped that one out of sight.
Do you think some hearts were in throats in Pasadena?
And now the discussion continues about where to place the ball.
As Penn State watches this play, and this could be a very crucial point of the game.
I think the ball went out in the end zone. So did Baron Miles. Now he's signaling for a safety, but really what he would rather have is the ball on the 1-yard line. So he may be working against his own cause.
Pruitt kicks it. It goes through the end zone out of bounds. A safety is the correct call. And when it's all said and done, all sorted out, they'll spot the ball at the 4-yard line.
That's exactly what happened. Pruitt kicked the ball at the 7. The penalty is going from the spot of the foul, moving half the distance of the goal to the 4. And Pruitt can't believe it. They have not been able to get a snap. All the tremendous athletes they have at the University of Miami, and they can't find somebody to snap the football. Incredible.
So 1st and goal, Cornhuskers at the 4. Berringer still has it after the play action. For the end zone, dangerous. Was it intercepted? Yes! Earl Little. Mr. Conservative Tom Osborne, that's the criticism he's heard over the years, goes for a pass on 1st and goal. Berringer throws it up for grabs, and Little catches it in the corner of the end zone. Earl Little, the sophomore from North Miami.
Tom, that's one of those plays as a quarterback that you have to either make the throw immediately or throw the ball away. It looked like the play had a chance. Gilman was open momentarily, but then when Berringer made the decision to hang on to it, just absolutely blew it. What a break for Nebraska and a blown play by Brooke Berringer.
On the touchback, Miami gets the ball at the 20. A 1-yard run by James Stewart. Jones and Peter, the tackle. Here's the interception again.
Gilman was open momentarily when the play first started. Then Berringer tried to make something out of nothing, and that is an unbelievable interception. Almost Dwight Clark-like in the back of the end zone.
And he knows
Berringer. Tough to live with.
Nebraska has turned the ball over 3 times tonight.
You just wonder about Tom Osborne, a guy that has been criticized for being too conservative. Does that come into play in that type of situation, wanting to prove that you're not?
Costa has to run. He won't get far. It'll be a loss on the play, a sack credited to Dwayne Harris. He's the man that had the sack for the safety earlier. It'll be 3rd and long coming up for the Canes. They're not out of this yet.
And Nebraska's defense has been there. Every time they have made a mistake on the offensive side, Nebraska's defense has made up for it. They've erased it. They've done it throughout the course of this season. They need to do it again.
And Pruitt may be called on to punt again. Plenty of time for Frank Costa. Almost intercepted. Phil Ellis made a diving attempt at the pickoff.
Great job by Nebraska's defense. Came in, an emotional play, a play that can really break your back defensively. You're sitting over there, you're hyped up, you're expecting a touchdown, possible 2-point conversion to tie the game. And yet they were able to piece their emotions back together and send Miami and Frank Costa 3 and out.
So Jeffrey Taylor again will try to snap it. The last one sailed over Pruitt's head.
Drum roll, please.
This one low. Pruitt got it and got it away. Moss from the 38. And into his own man. Fumbled the football. And got it back. 40-yard punt, a 6-yard return. Nebraska narrowly averting a 4th turnover. Timeout, 12:07 left in the national championship game. Brooke Berringer, last possession, threw the costly interception in the end zone, and he's on the sideline as the Cornhuskers take over once again. The starter, Tommy Frazier, who was ineffective, is back on the field. Lawrence Phillips breaking tackles to the 20 with a cutback to the 15-yard line. Gain of 25 before he's chased down by Davis and Francis.
That's one of the few times we've seen the Cornhuskers run the option and pitch the football. Tommy Frazier has been running it. That time Rohan Marley overran the play, tried to come back and make an arm tackle, could not. And now you're getting a little bit of a taste of what Tommy Frazier can do. The guy that started as a freshman for the Cornhuskers, Tom Osborne, said he does not feel pressure.
And Phillips up to 90 yards rushing. Schlesinger. Touchdown. Cornhuskers will go for 2. They trail 17-15. Full house backfield. Frazier will throw. It's good. 2-point conversion. Eric Alford made the catch. Game tied at 17.
And redemption for Tommy Frazier.
And a smile for Brooke Berringer.
And hope for Tom Osborne. They have been forgetting about Schlesinger throughout the game. They were playing the option. And then Tommy Frazier. He can't throw. He can't throw. It's tied.
And a spring suddenly back in the step of Coach Tom Osborne.
And you notice how young Tom Osborne looked in that initial shot. A few of those wrinkles created by those lost opportunities in the Orange Bowl.
And we repeat, a tie could cost Nebraska the title if Penn State wins tomorrow in the Rose Bowl. Erstad's kick reaches the end zone. 17-17. Miami's last 3 possessions have resulted in punts. Stewart tackled at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he fell forward for a yard. Dante Jones hit him first.
And there's Ed Stewart, who didn't want to be moved to linebacker. He was a strong safety, and he was upset when they put him up there. He said, guys, block me from all angles. I got the tight end, I got the tackle, I got the guard, I got the back, I got the wide receiver cracking. All he is one of the top 3 linebackers in the country now.
Approaching the 7-minute mark. Number 1, Nebraska. Number 3, Miami, tied at 17. Before a record Orange Bowl crowd. Fake it. Costa going downfield, deep down the sideline. Chris T. Jones and Miles battling, and it's incomplete. That has been an ongoing war all night down that sideline. Chris T. Jones and Baron Miles.
And what would be better for Baron Miles on his birthday than to win a national championship? Chris T. Jones with a play, with a chance. But Baron Miles, after a slow start to this ball game, has just shown tremendous heart here tonight. He's been out there one-on-one the entire ball game. He's biting and scratching. He's not that fast. He can't jump that high, but he keeps making plays.
And what about the Nebraska defense? Miami still does not have a first down this quarter. 3rd and 9. Just got it off. Costa deep, wide open, can't get there. Taz Johnson was all by himself, and Costa, with the rush bearing down, overshot him.
Tyrone Williams is going to get confused on the play number 8. There's nobody in that whole deep half of the field. A complete lone coverage. Maybe this is Tom Osborne's year. You catch a break like that, maybe you do have a chance.
So here's another punt for the 4th time in a row. The Miami drive is 3 and out. Makes a good Miami bounce. That was touched back at about the 42-yard line. That's where it'll be spotted, a 38-yard punt. Miles came close to a block here.
Aaron Miles is just missing. Look at the quickness.
Oh. 6:28 left as the Huskers continue their drive.
Tom Osborne, a man of great faith. He says everyone has faith in something. Some have faith in money or prestige or winning games, and he says sure it hurts to lose, but winning and losing is not the most important thing. And some people think that I don't care because I have that attitude. He says I do care, but I just have my priorities in life.
He said I'm often misunderstood because of that. His team has the ball in a tie game. First down at the 42. Phillips is in trouble. Still fighting for yardage and perhaps got back to the line of scrimmage. Ray Lewis, Kenny Holmes, many others were all over Lawrence Phillips.
Tom, you just have to appreciate the effort of these players out here tonight. I mean, these are just 2 great football teams, and you saw at that time Lawrence Phillips giving it everything he had. He was stopped in the backfield. He fought his way back to the line of scrimmage. I mean, it is now just a time to suck it up and play for 6 minutes and try and win a national championship.
Frazier. Catch made. Good catch by Reggie Ball, who went downstairs and caught it right off the grass. His first reception of the night.
Reggie Ball, another one of those walk-ons. People want to come to Nebraska. They want to play for Tom Osborne. And boy, would they love to win a national championship for that man tonight.
5:15 left. 17-17. Huskers facing a 3rd and 3.
And I don't think this is 4-down territory. Not yet.
Option. Frazier keeps. Cuts up. He's got the first down. He's got more than that. He's spun down at the 28-yard line. C.J. Richardson caught Frazier from behind, but it went for 25 yards.
There's the Tommy Frazier we saw at the beginning of the season, running the option. The last time he pitched it, this time he fakes it. Watch the running ability. You have to be happy for the young man. He's fighting his way back from that blood clot. Just a horrible season for him. He wanted to come back, get a medical red shirt. They wouldn't let him. This is it. This is his opportunity.
And he's from Bradenton, Florida. How sweet would that be? Berringer managing a smile. He did a good job when he was in there for the most part. Phillips spinning to the 20-yard line. That's a pretty good gain. That's about 6 or 7 yards, covered by C.J. Richardson, and the big hogs up front starting to wear down the defense of Miami.
And Miami does not substitute much on that defensive line.
Gain of 7.
Look at Schlesinger come in there. He's made some big runs and some huge blocks.
Let's go to John Dockery.
You know, Chris, you hit the nail on the head. I watched the Miami defensive line in the before they got back on the field. They've been on the field the whole 4th quarter. They were exhausted because of lack of substitution. Of course, Pat Riley, their great defensive tackle, is out of this game, and they haven't been able to substitute. They're exhausted.
Frazier hands to Phillips. Can't get a block. Ridden down at the 20, no gain. Ray Lewis made the play once again.
Lewis on the tackle.
And Tom, they're right at the range now where they have to make a decision about their field goal kicker. Tom Sealer is the short kicker. He is going to kick anything 40 yards or shorter. So right now, Tom Sealer is the man. He gets the ball up very quickly. Did not have a particularly good pregame warm-up. I watched him kick. He was missing a lot of kicks in the pregame.
Erstad is the long field goal kicker. But it's 3rd and 3, and Osborne would like to convert here and not have to worry about a kick. Option. Frazier cuts up. First down, Nebraska. Rohan Marley covered him at the 14, but Osborne still has what could be a national championship drive percolating.
And how about Tom Osborne? He has shown the courage to not only start Tommy Frazier, but then to bring in Berringer, give his team a lift, and then when it seemed very natural to let Berringer continue to play, made another gutsy call, brought Frazier back in, and now he has this Cornhusker offense on the move.
Less than 3 minutes remaining. Nebraska already in field goal range. See ya. Schlesinger has another touchdown. Schlesinger broke free and took it in for the score.
Smile, Tom.
For the extra point. He got it. The Nebraska team has owned the 4th quarter. Corey Schlesinger has scored twice in this quarter, and Erickson's offense has been in reverse. Fatigue perhaps playing a part here on the Miami defense as Schlesinger rambles in for his 2nd touchdown in this period. 2 minutes and 46 seconds separate Tom Osborne from his first national championship. And don't kid yourself for a moment. These Nebraska players would love to be the class that gives it to him.
But this Miami offense still has something to say. We've seen the big plays all night, and that's why Tom Osborne hasn't broken into a smile yet.
Erstad's kick taken a yard deep. Pittman gets across the 15 to the 17-yard line. 2:42 left. Canes 4 wide. Diving catch made. Marcus Wimberly. Clock continues to run. Short of the first down. It was a gain of only 4 or 5 yards.
One timeout remains for Miami. You are willing to give up those short passes, but you don't want to get into a prevent mode. This Nebraska defense has been pounding on this Miami offense. Don't play it any differently.
Costa got away and then is taken down. Terry Keneally with a sack.
Keneally on the tackle.
Timeout taken with 2 minutes left. Costa buried. Jones and Keneally and Costa slow getting up. He has taken a beating tonight.
Harris and Keneally on the sack.
Wayne Harris, Terry Keneally, Dante Jones. We talked about the Miami defense getting tired. Now this Miami offense is getting overwhelmed. And it comes down to one last play for Tom Osborne. One play for a national championship.
4th and 19 from the Miami 9.
Costa deep downfield, up for grabs, intercepted. Kareem Moss.
Costa's pass is intercepted. Moss intercepted the pass.
The sentimental favorite. This year it's Tom Osborne, and this should do it. Batted in the air by Moss, who cradles it. And now, with Miami out of timeouts, the Cornhuskers, who held Miami this quarter with no first downs, will go on to win. It's just a matter of time now. And Tom Osborne, who so much wanted to please his dad that he took up athletics, finally has his national championship, and somewhere his dad has to be smiling. I see a lot of Tom Osborne in the words of Longfellow, who wrote, "Let us then be up and doing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait." For 22 years he labored and waited, and now the moment was his. Let's go to John Dockery with the national champion coach, Tom Osborne.
You finally got it after a long time. Coach, you finally got it after a long time coming. What does it mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. I'm really proud of the players. Played a great game, a lot of heart.
You've come close. Coach, you've come close many times. Is it all more sweeter now?
Well, it's enjoyable. Let's put it that way.
Did you somehow feel that this was your year coming into the game?
I thought in the fourth quarter we'd be the best team, and we were. That's great.
What was the difference today?
Well, I think just we were probably in good condition, maybe a little stronger physically in the fourth quarter. Miami has a great team. I got to get in.
Congratulations, Coach. A terrific victory.
Thank you.
Tommy, back to you.
Okay, John. Tom Osborne, vintage Tom Osborne, gracious in victory as he always has been in defeat. Nebraska earned earns a national championship with a tough win over Miami in the Orange Bowl. Final score 24-17.